3 a.m. Again, why did I ever think this was a good idea?
Hi you guys, it's Jack here again. So as you know, this past weekend I was so very excited to say that I was able to run the Daytona 100-mile relay. It was such an amazing experience, and if you were listening to the episode, you know how much fun we had. But the purpose of this video is it was my first time doing a relay, and I did not know what I was missing in my running career life. I think relays are so much fun. I didn't know what to expect, and the reason for this video is I kind of want to share my reasons and thoughts of why you should run a relay and what to expect for it. So here we go. So yeah, one of the first reasons I feel like you should run a relay is go and hang out with your running friends. Go and build a team. For the Daytona 100, you can have up to a 4-man relay. There's other relays out there that I believe go up to 6. Choose a distance. I don't think they're always just 100-mile relays. I think I've heard of one that was like a 50-mile relay. Choose a distance that's good for what your team wants to do, and then just go out there and do it. We had so much fun. We have so many, lots of great moments that we could just look back on and laugh at. I really think just doing something like this with your friends is just a great experience. You don't have to run it to beat a certain time. Just run it to kind of just have and build those memories. It's kind of like Inside Out. You build these core memories that you will take on with you for the rest of your life. And I think doing it with friends is such a great experience. Second of all, being able to do a relay, it just means that you get to see a lot of the course itself. So say you did do a 100-mile relay, and I'm going to use the Daytona 100 as an example. It was a point-to-point race. We were running from Jacksonville, Florida to Daytona, Florida. And it was just really, really cool because if you're doing a marathon, obviously you're only seeing 26.2 miles. But if you do a relay, you're seeing all, if it is the 100 miles, you're seeing all 100 miles of that relay, basically. I mean, at least with the Daytona one. I mean, again, I haven't done any others, but it was so cool to see all the beautiful sights. We got to see so many beautiful beaches. Going through St. Augustine was amazing. I know Dean got a chance to go across the Lion Bridge. I got to go across this one bridge that I'll go ahead and put right here. They had just the most amazing views. And then Dean and Adam in the morning, right off the start of the race, they got to have segments where they got to run through areas that had beautiful Christmas lights and tall palm trees. So you get to see a lot, not just while you're running, but while you're going to the next place as well. And I think that's really cool. Another thing to kind of put into your perspective for doing a relay is that I know the distance sounds scary, because when you say 100-mile relay, it can sound scary. You don't have to run technically an ultra distance during an ultra marathon. If you had 4-man team like a lot of these other teams did during the Daytona 100, a lot of them were doing just about 25 miles. Or if you did a relay that had a 6-man team, okay, so then you're doing maybe 16 to 18 miles or whatnot per person to finish the relay. So I know the distances can sound scary when you say, again, 100-mile relay or 50-mile relay. It doesn't always mean that if you don't want to run an ultra specific distance, which is an ultra is basically defining anything over 26.2 miles, you don't need to. So I feel like with a relay, you can make it whatever you want it to be. And I think that's a really great reason to do a relay, because you kind of get to choose your own distance of which you want to run. Another reason why I think it's fun to do a relay is because it becomes like a fun competition between the other relay teams, but in a sense that we're all incredibly encouraging to each other. Like even if somebody passed me or I would pass them, I'd say, good job you guys, good job, good job. Like it's just fun competition, you know. There was this one team that was just flying, and we looked at them and was like, man, you guys are amazing. It was just really just a fun overall experience. I mean, it was almost like a fun game, you know what I mean? Like how fast do we want to go? Do we want to make it like a party? Do you want to race it? Whatever you decide, it's up to you, because regardless, you're there with friends and you're having fun. Yeah, another reason why I think doing a relay is a lot of fun, because you can actually use it as a training run. That was kind of a training run for me. I wasn't expecting to go out as fast as I did. I was supposed to run 25 miles anyways that day, is what my run coach, Chris Twiggs, had me doing. So, I mean, it ended up being 31 miles that I altogether ran. But it was a lot of fun. I got the miles I needed to get in to get ready for Goofy to Dumbo. So I was really excited. And I mean, heck, if it's a training run and you know you're gonna do those miles, one, it's always great to do with friends, and I know I keep saying that, but two, you might as well get a medal for it. And that comes to my next reason to do one of these relays, is because more than likely you're gonna get a medal. But yeah, I mean, if you're gonna run a distance, you might as well get a medal for it. So that would be another reason that I think you should do it. Here's what you can kind of expect from a relay. Know that whatever distance you're going to do, it's gonna probably be a long day for everybody. I mean, if you know, I mean, obviously, like for example, this one, I mean, I was scheduled to do about 32 miles and ended up being 31 just because of the way that the trade-off points were. Dean did just about 31, and then Adam took about 38 of those miles. You also have to remember that you are not gonna, more than likely, unless you want to do it that way, you're not gonna do it all in one sitting point. Like, I'm not gonna run all 31 miles right off the bat. No, you break it up however you want to break it up. And we broke it up in a way that, for me, I ended up having 8 different legs. My longest leg was 6.1 miles. And my shortest one, I think, was like 2.5, and it just worked out great, and it helps keep your pace the way it is. The only thing that you have to remember if you do it that way, which is probably how you're gonna do it normally, but you just kind of have to remember that between these legs that you have when you're rotating, there's not as much downtime as you think. Here's why. So by the time that you finish and you know that, let's say the next person has maybe a 5-mile stretch, and you know how long they're probably gonna take, by the time you get from the point you just finished and you got to recover, if you were the runner, you have to get back in the car, get to the next point before the other person gets there. And then that way that person can kind of get ready and go and do their segment. But it just things kind of turn over really fast. And so as much as we thought we would have a lot of downtime, we really didn't. And so also, with that being said, when you do your run segment and then you stop and you're kind of traveling in between, your muscles, oh my gosh, they were just getting tight. Like, yes, it was time to recover, but at the same time it wasn't recovery, because you knew you just had to pick up and go again. But yeah, muscles started getting tight. I do highly recommend that if you do relays, I would go ahead and bring things with you like we did, to kind of help with that recovery process. We used one of those massage guns that was really great. I know that Adam used some CBD lotion that was really nice. I ended up using that after the race as well. Well, the CBD lotion that I had. Yeah, make sure you have everything that you would need in case something were to come awry. Also, another thing to remember is, for whatever race you do choose, please make sure you bring everything that you need that is required for that race. Every race or relay could require something different. So for this ultra, we were required to wear a vest that had flashing lights 360 around us. And I'm gonna put some footage right here so you can show, but you had to have that. You didn't, which was the weird thought The weird thing that I thought that they didn't require us to have was a headlamp. I recommend, if you know this race is going to be going to the night for you guys, please bring a headlamp. It's just easier to see because some of the sidewalks, at least for our race, were uneven and it could have become like a tripping hazard, which it did for me, and I know it definitely did for Dean. So just heads up on that. But one of the main things that I do really want to put out there is go out there with a relay with friends and just plainly put, have fun. I mean, that's why we do this. Go out there and why not do it with friends? These are memories that are gonna be lasting a lifetime. I would love to do a relay again. There's so many out there to choose from. It doesn't even have to be a road race. It could be a trail race. It could be whatever you find. If you're trying to look for any of those kind of relays, I do highly suggest maybe looking at ultrasignup.com. I do know there is other places that you could look up as well. If you do want to go ahead and decide, hey, wow, that Daytona 100, man, that looks sick. I'm gonna put that information down below so you can register for next year. I will also put this because I know a lot of you guys are Run Disney lovers like moi, and of course like the podcast team. This race specifically, if you were going to try and use it as your last big training run for whether it be the marathon or Dopey, Goofy, whatever, it actually worked out great. It's the same weekend that your simulations would have been if you're following the Galloway training plan anyways. So this is fantastic. Go take your friends, do all your simulation together on the same day. I think it's great. So yeah, this race specifically works out perfect to set you up for the marathon weekend at Disney. So there's also that. So yeah, go out there, get a team together, whether it be 2 people, 3, 4, 5, 6, however many people you can have or how many people you want on a relay, and go out there and do it. It's an experience, and I can tell you right now, you're probably gonna wanna do another one afterwards. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, you guys, happy running.